What's up, guys? So obviously this is a different type of video than you're used to seeing from me. And as you can see in the title down below, I'm gonna show you exactly how to lose 10 to 20% of your body weight, how to pack on lean muscle, and do that in 180 days or less. I'm talking full life transformation. I'm gonna be going through my own story, how I applied this system to my life, and how I've helped my clients do the same thing. Now, again, this is gonna be a bit of a longer video, so come back to it as many times as you need, but I'm giving all the sauce away in this video, guys, so grab a pen, grab a notebook, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, so this is the systems over motivation method. I put this together just to lay it out a little more simply. Step-by-step system for busy men who wanna get lean, build muscle, and feel confident again. Again, lose 10 to 20% of your body weight and build lean muscle in 180 days or less. So who this is essentially for the man who is winning on paper, but losing in the mirror. So what I mean by that is you're a skinny fat or you're an overweight guy. You've let your fitness kind of slip to the back burner while you've been focusing on everything else because you're busy and responsible. You're prioritizing your career. You have a real family, you have real stress, you have real life demands, right? And this is for you if you want a system you can actually maintain long term. So what this isn't some 30-day challenge. This isn't an influencer ebook. This isn't just macros and workouts or a check-in here or there. What this essentially is a complete system rebuild, how we optimize your training, nutrition, your sleep, and your recovery. And so essentially you just hold a much higher standard for yourself and you have a new operating system to take care of these things. And results become your default. So my name is Christian and I created this because it's exactly what I needed when I completely fell off and I gave up on myself. So just a little backstory about me. So I actually used to compete. So in 2019, for example, I still felt amazing. I still looked great. I was in great shape because the year before I had competed at the Canadian Nationals in classic physique. And I'd kept that discipline after the show instead of letting everything slide like a lot of people do, and I've actually done in the past. It's super messy. I wouldn't recommend it. I was training consistently. I was eating with structure. I felt sharp. I was confident, disciplined, and I was genuinely proud of what I had built. So 2020 hit. We all know what happened. COVID happened, right? I got laid off from my job. I was working at the railway at the time. I remember shortly after gyms shut down, in my own head, I was just kind of convincing myself, oh yeah, it's only going to be a couple weeks. I don't got to do anything. I can take a break. And during that time, I actually developed a brutal gaming addiction to Call of Duty Warzone. I'm sure some of you watching know Call of Duty Warzone. Some of the best times in my life, I'll be honest, but I would not go back because I was also just went in a complete spiral with what I was eating. McDonald's, Pizza Hut, skip the dishes multiple times daily. I can't even remember, like at that time, I probably didn't cook a meal for months, literally months. And this was the result of that. So 20 pounds of muscle lost, 45 pounds of fat gained, again, from poor eating, zero activity, and even a 15-minute walk. Like I would play video games. Like this was me in the 2018, 2019 as well. And this was me, as you can see, like muscles gone. And I literally have no pictures from this time in my life. I was that embarrassed. Like I actually had a pretty big gut. Might not look like it, but it's like skinny fat, right? Like I had an extra, but I had like an actual gut. Anyways, guys, going for a 15-minute walk after I'd play fucking video games for like 10, 12 hours, it literally felt like I had to go do this, like climb this mountain. Like it felt like a grueling 2-hour leg workout. It was ridiculous. Again, I looked like I hadn't worked out a day in my life in this picture, right? I was embarrassed and disgusted with myself because I actually remember, 1 second here, sorry. There we go. I remember seeing those pictures on Facebook. That was from my niece's birthday at my brother's house. I saw those pictures and I took a long look in the mirror. Like I was playing video games. I remember I seen them pop up and I went and looked in the mirror. I'd always play video games with my shirt off. And I realized I had let slip the very thing that I once cared about more than absolutely anything. I think that's what happens when we do fitness competitions. I'm a lot better for it now, but You can ask people who have done competitions. It's just like you almost develop this body dysmorphia. Like you always compare yourself to the best you absolutely looked at one time. And I realized no one was coming to save me. I did this and I had to take responsibility and essentially get myself out of it, right? So there was a bunch of humming and hawing, and then there was false starts like this, right? I would go 2 days, then I would take 3 days off. I would go for a week, I would get sore, I'd get frustrated, and then I would take a month off. And I repeated that cycle probably for a good 4 to 5 months. But still, every single day, I'd wake up looking in the mirror, annoyed with what I see, disgusted. And I understood that I had to make a real decision, like really commit, right? So lo and behold, I don't remember exactly what day it was. I just remember the feeling that came over me. Again, I was sitting in my chair playing Warzone, and I gamed with no shirt on, and I just looked down, and I already knew I looked like this, but something just came over me when I saw myself. And I remember I looked at my Instagram and I looked at a few old pictures of when I was in shape, and I actually looked at that one. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what happened here? And I again went up. I literally remember I went up and walked to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror, and I was just like, I remember leaning on the counter like this, and I'm just like looking at myself in the mirror, like 2 inches away. And I'm just like, dude, I'm done. Like we're done with this shitty version of ourselves. Because I had truly hated what I became, right? So that decision right then and there started a complete life transformation that took just under 180 days, actually. And this was that result. So remember, I showed you that picture there. And obviously, this picture here, I have a bit more tattoos. I have no hair. I was losing my hair. As you can see, it's receding, right? So I just was like, fuck it, I'm shaving my hair off. Anyways, doesn't matter. So I lost 40 pounds. I lost 8 inches off of my waist. So my abs were back, my vascularity returned, and I finally had my confidence back. I had way better energy. I was way stronger. I could finally take my shirt off with confidence again and not be embarrassed. I felt like I had like a complete new energy source, as cheesy as it sounds. But I think it was just not fulfilling, but just a proud feeling. I just missed looking in the mirror and seeing this and being proud. So I'm going to go through who this essentially is for and who it's not for. But this is for you if you're someone who wants to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds, maybe you want to lose more. You want to drop the excuse me, you want to drop the fat, you want to keep it off, you want to add lean muscle, take your shirt off with confidence. You're tired of being confused, you want to get a simple proven system that works alongside your busy work schedule, family, real life, that whole thing. You want a realistic structure. Clear training, nutrition, sleep, and movement guidelines that will work even on your busiest weeks. And you just want to feel confident again. You want more energy. You want to be able to throw those clothes on that have been collecting dust in your closet for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe years. And you want to feel lean. You want to feel strong without living in the gym. So this method is not for those who are just simply not coachable. If you can't take direction and you can't take feedback, this won't work. If you're excuse driven, if you're constantly finding more excuses than solutions, you can just go ahead and skip this video. If you can't commit 4 hours a week into the gym, this isn't going to be for you. And if you're just flat out not ready to transform, if you just don't truly want to become the best version of yourself, this isn't going to be for you. And I've noticed a real problem with the fitness industry. It's overflowing with influencers who make it seem like you need to train 6 days a week for 2 hours at a time. You got to do endless cardio. You got to eat like a robot, and you got to make fitness your entire personality. But that's not you, and you don't live like that. Like we talked about earlier, you're someone who has real responsibilities, whether it's your work or your family. Maybe you're a father. Maybe you're a husband. Maybe you own a business. Maybe you manage a team, or you're a blue collar, or you're a shift worker. You need a different system. See, the thing with influencers, they have unlimited time. They have zero pressure. Their job is essentially their body, right? And their schedule revolves around the gym. You have real responsibilities. You got work and family demands. You have limited time and energy, and you need a sustainable structure. You need a system built for a grown man with a real schedule And that's exactly why I created the systems over motivation method. So I'm going to get into how I did this for myself. And the real problem for a lot of us is we don't need more information. We have a problem with implementation. And so I knew what I needed to do. I would just make exceptions constantly because we have this little thing in our head called like the bitch voice, and then there's the boss voice. And usually the bitch voice is way louder and crushes our boss voice, right? And it's always just, I don't think it's ego driven, but it's always just like, okay, well, we can start like next week. We can start Monday, right? We have to do this, this, and this, or we can't because we're sore. And we just come up with all these self negotiations, right? Again, ego gets in the way. Next week mentality, waiting for less busy times, which again, there's not going to be really a time in your life when you have less responsibility and more time than right now, right? So our egos get in the way as guys. And for me, I was just like, my muscle memory, it'll come back. It'll have me back in shape in no time. Yeah, it didn't. Streak of misses. So one skipped meal or one skipped workout became another and another, and then it just becomes normal. And again, I did this for like 5-6 months, guys. Busy or lazy weeks would turn into months. Again, I had to finally draw a line. I was done waiting to feel motivated. I was done living in a body I was pretty much depressed in. So I'm going to go over my training split. I kept it super simple, structured. So Monday I would train, my chest, triceps, and calves. Tuesday I would do my back and biceps and rear delts. Wednesday I would do my quads and hamstrings. Thursday was my shoulders, arms, and abs. And then Friday I would sometimes go do mobility work, sometimes cardio on that day as well. But sometimes I would just do this at home as well. So these were shorter sessions. These were about an hour long, harder focus, not as much rest time. Strength training that actually moved the needle. I was going heavy. I aimed for 6 to 8 hardworking sets for each body part. I didn't waste my time trying 10 different splits or programs. The game changer, I think for a lot of people, guys, like I got laser focused on my nutrition. I'm going to go through the math here that makes this very, very simple. Anyone can do it. Literally anyone, probably even your dog. Nutrition truly changes the game when you understand it, guys. So what I did was I used a total daily energy expenditure calculator. I just went to calculator.net, and there's a bunch of calculators on there. Went to calorie calculator, and I typed in my information. You just got to put in your name. Not your name, your age, your height, your weight, and what activity level you can commit to. And so 2,400 calories was the number it spit out at me. This was going to be my deficit to lose 1 pound per week. So I'm going to go over this in math quick. So 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. And 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. This is going to be important to remember. So this is how I divided up my macro targets. For my protein, I was aiming to intake my goal body weight in grams of protein. So I took in 200 grams of protein because I wanted to weigh 200 pounds. Remember, at this time, I was like 245 pounds. So we want to multiply this by 4 because remember, 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. So this gives us 800 calories of protein. Then for our fats, I wanted to take in 40% of my goal body weight. So I went 0.4 times 200. That gave me 80 grams of fat. So 80 grams of fat content from my macros. So remember, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So we multiply 9 by 80. This gives us 720 calories from our fats. And the reason we're doing these multiplications is because we need to find out our carbohydrate intake. So remember, my deficit was 2,400 calories. I minus 800 from protein. I minus 720 from fat. That gives us 880 calories remaining for the carbohydrates. Remember, 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories. We divide that by 880. That gives us 220 grams of carbs. So my fat loss macros at that time were 200 grams of protein, 80 grams of fat, and 220 grams of carbs. Once I had those numbers, the execution became more simple. I stopped guessing and I stopped eyeballing my portions. I tracked my food and treated those macros like a standard, like I didn't miss. Guys, a secret weapon that a lot of people I think don't understand is like just daily movement, just walking. It's like a cheat code. That's why I wrote the cheat code.
It boosts your daily calorie burn, your NEAT. Basically, that's just the amount, or sorry, the calories you burn while doing basic daily tasks. The calories you burn when you're not exercising in the gym, to simplify. Walking is basically no fatigue. We can walk for a very, very long time. It lowers the stress significantly, made my deficit sustainable, and I was able to stay consistent without burning out. You got to think about if you're jogging and running and you're trying to do sprints, or you're trying to like kill yourself on the stairs and you're trying to crash diet, like that's not a sustainable system, guys. So for me, I would either do it outside or on a treadmill. I would do it every day, and it was a non-negotiable that I hit at least 10,000 steps. That was the minimum. And this was the formula that got me that result that you saw. It was training, it was sleep, it was focusing on my movement goal, my steps, and prioritizing my nutrition. And when the progress stalled, guys, I didn't quit. Sure, I'd get frustrated, but I would just take a step back. I'd revisit the calorie calculator, because at this time, maybe I lost 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 pounds. But progress is going to stall, guys, because our body, we've cut down weight. We're running on less calories now. So we have to take in a bit less calories, right? So I would revisit the calorie calculator, I would get new numbers, and I would keep moving. There's no magic. I don't have special genetics. It was just a structure. I held a higher standard for myself, and I kept repeating the basics. Guys, the magic is in the mundane. The person who can execute constantly on the daily basic tasks, these 4 things, is going to beat out someone who gets motivated and then they're not motivated, and then they're motivated and then they're not motivated. So just remember that. So in summary, kind of the systems over motivation method, we rebuild your body, optimize your training, your nutrition, your sleep, your recovery. We rebuild your system. We give you operating standards. We hold you to a higher standard. And by default, results become your default. You never start over again. Look lean and jacked. Feel truly confident again in 180 days or less. Now, I should go through this. There's a 2-phase system in this systems over motivation method. Phase 1 is the foundation phase. This is where we drop excess body fat. We prime the metabolism through consistent inputs, eliminate bad habits holding you back, and we clean up the basics. Basically, we just lock in a routine and get in momentum. Momentum is incredibly important. Phase 2, the performance phase. This is where we keep your fat off. We build more lean muscle, push the gym performance without sacrificing sustainability, and obviously being smart about it. We don't want to get injured. We sharpen the system mentally, physically. We reinforce the habits, and we make this new standard feel normal. These are just some of the guys I've helped. Blair, great example, blue collar guy with a family. He was already doing a lot of the right things with his nutrition and his gym schedule. It just needed a bit of refinement. So after we refined some things, he was still able to enjoy some of his favorite meals with his family. He lost 25 pounds. Actually, I think he lost 30 pounds total. 7 inches off his waist measurement, guys. 7 inches. Go look at a measuring tape. Martin came to me, wanted to look the best for his wedding. He was traveling often for work. He needed a system that worked with him and his traveling. So we dialed that in for him. He still got these results, enjoying cheat meals, lost 20 pounds, 6 inches off his waist. Isaiah, just look at the smile in this after picture, the confidence, man. I love it. Brought his confidence back to life, right? Still got to enjoy some of his favorite meals with his family. People actually started asking him for advice with their fitness journeys because Isaiah's actually a school teacher. So I love that. Lost 20 pounds and lost 8 inches off his waist, guys. Incredible. So now that you know this works, I've given you 4 testimonies, myself, my clients. I have an offer for you. If you're a skinny fat, or you're just an overweight guy, or you're simply just tired of accepting less for yourself, you want to be able to look in the mirror and respect what you see. You want to be able to take your shirt off with confidence, not feel embarrassed, and you want to show up like the man that you know you are. I will help you lose 10 to 20% of your body weight, build lean muscle, and install the systems that make staying lean your new normal. And I'll help you do this in 180 days or less using the systems over motivation method. And my promise to you is if you follow the plan, you communicate honestly, and you execute on the daily tasks, If you don't get results, I'll keep working with you at no additional cost until you do see results. So if this resonates with you and you're ready to take action, I left my call link in the description below. Go ahead and book a call using that link. We'll walk through everything together and we'll see if you're a good fit for the team.
All right, you guys, that is it. That is the systems over motivation method. I just want to really thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I know you could be doing a million other things in your life right now, so I appreciate you. Guys, I put my link down in the description below. That's to book a call with me. If you're tired, if this resonated with you and you're tired of not seeing any results in your fitness journey, you feel like you've tried everything and nothing seems to work, book a call with me. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what you're struggling with. Maybe we can come up with a game plan. See if you're a good fit for the team. I look forward to hearing from you, man.